Welcome back to Fourth Rock.
Barack.
Now, let's dive into the quarterback situation real quick. Obviously, you didn't get Matt Flynn. Obviously, you weren't able to trade up to 2 and take RG3. But there are still options out there. What do you think of Ryan Tannehill, Mr. Rudy?
I personally like Ryan Tannehill, but he's not going to be a franchise quarterback immediately. But I do like him. He's not somebody I'm gonna spend a high draft pick on because there are so many needs, to say the least.
Okay.
And I have been very, very, very judgmental of Mr. Colt McCoy over the course of last year. But the point of it is, he's still, in my opinion, a rookie as a quarterback, only for the simple fact is he hasn't been put in a position where he's been able to learn on offense. He's had nobody around him. I think at this point, we definitely need to get a quarterback, yes. Do I need to get a quarterback right now that's a starting quarterback over Colt McCoy? No.
Okay.
What I need to do is surround people around the quarterback we have, no matter who it is.
Mr. Beckner.
Well, I wouldn't take Tannehill at number 4. If Ryan Tannehill was there at 22, I think you probably have to give it some consideration if you really like the guy. I mean,
go through your mind.
But I would be more inclined to look in the later rounds. I like Russell Wilson. I realize Russell Wilson's probably problem is his height. But he's a solid quarterback. He's won. He played well at North Carolina State. Then he went to Wisconsin, led Wisconsin. He went into Wisconsin 1 year as a transfer from North Carolina State, and he immediately became their captain. Led them to the Rose Bowl. Now he's small. He's on the size of Colt McCoy. He's not your prototype 6'3" or 6'4" guy that everybody likes. But the guy can throw through. He throws through passing lanes. He played behind an offensive line in Wisconsin that was every bit as big as any offensive line in the National Football League. And he's somebody that you can get in probably one of those picks in the 4th round, maybe even one of your picks in the 5th round. I'm not interested in the Osweilers and Nick Foles of the world. The West Coast offense is a lot what they ran at Wisconsin. I think Wilson would be able to pick that up pretty quickly. And he's a later guy that you can get, like I said, in the 4th or 5th round. I would look more at him. Tannehill, hey, if you evaluated Tannehill, he's only had about 19 starts, I think, as a quarterback. He was a wide receiver. Mark Sanchez only had 16 starts at quarterback before he was drafted. But that's a guy you'd have to compare him with somewhat as far as experience is concerned.
I think it's a good
Tannehill probably more physically gifted than Mark Sanchez. I'd be looking. Definitely the Browns need to draft a quarterback. I would look at somebody like Wilson in that 4th, 5th round category, and let it on Colt McCoy, because if that doesn't all work out, there's next year. I know there's always next year with Cleveland, but next year you're going to see some quarterbacks come out.
Landry Jones.
My eye would be on the quarterback from Arkansas, Tyler Wilson.
Yes.
Yeah, I really like him. I do like Barkley, don't get me wrong. I'm not a big fan of Landry Jones. That could change in a year's time. But Tannehill, now, I think he'll probably be, I would be a little shocked if Miami passes Tannehill at 8, something's wrong. Because their offensive coordinator was his head coach last year, and their offense will be, he could step in seamlessly and run that offense because the verbiage will be the same. He should have no problem picking up that offense. And if Miami passes him, boy, it would scare me, because if that team's not interested, much like Miami passed on Matt Flynn. They had his offensive coordinator as Miami's head coach. They passed. What's that tell you? It's scary, I think.
I like Tannehill, but I think Tannehill is too raw for Cleveland, especially to take in the 4th pick. And, I don't like the idea. Some people, I've heard of some mocks where Cleveland trades up from 22 and takes him. I don't like that idea. I think Cleveland's going to take quarterback. I like Brandon Weeden a lot. Brandon Weeden in 13 games last year threw for 4,727 yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 picks. Now he's going to be 29 years old by the time the season begins, but in my opinion, that only helps him. He's a lot more mature. He's going to be able to handle the other players. He's going to be able to be looked upon as a respected leader already. He's very well groomed, very professional, and I think
Cleveland, I think
I like
Cleveland
him a
likes him.
lot.
I
I
think
really
Cleveland
do.
likes him a lot. Cleveland's had him in. Cleveland's talked to him from what I've heard. Brandon Wheaton talk that Cleveland has shown a good bit of interest in him.
If they could get him at 37, I'd be happy with that.
I would say
I really
37 would be the pick that they would be more than likely to
I
choose.
wouldn't take him 22.
No.
I'd take him 37. I'm telling you right now, I would. Now, the Colt McCoy situation, granted, you really can't evaluate him yet. He hasn't had great talent around him, any talent really. He does make some bad decisions, but he is a young quarterback. I think a lot of times he makes bad decisions because if he doesn't get rid of the ball, he's going to be on his ass. And he's had a lot of drop passes, so I'm more and more okay with Colt McCoy getting another shot. Part of that is because we really don't have a choice because, I really don't. They didn't give Flynn, they didn't get anybody else. I don't know if they're going to take lead or not, but I'm okay with Colt. But we definitely have to get weapons around him now.
Well, it'd be nice to go into with Colt McCoy next year.
Absolutely.
With Richardson behind him and Kendall Wright or another guy on the other side with G Little.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And then then you see he plays it out. Hopefully he stays upright.
Yeah.
And then you play it out and see what happens. I think Cleveland tried to figure that out last year a little bit when McCoy was knocked out. It's like, okay, we'll bring in Seneca Wallace and see what happens. If Seneca Wallace starts moving us up and down the field, maybe Colt McCoy's our problem. Seneca Wallace didn't move us up and down the field. So Colt McCoy's maybe not our problem. Our quarterback problem maybe overall in general.
Right.
But, he's young. He's a third-round pick. And you have to consider last year he played under a new system, had no offseason.
Nope.
No offseason of coaching, learning a new offense. I mean, the guy's learned a new offense every year he's been in the league.
Right.
And that and they talk about that West Coast offense being so intricate that you need a couple of years to learn this offense before you're really comfortable with where guys need to be and the decisions you need to make.
Yes.
So. I'm all for letting him go, but yeah, he does need weapons. There's no question about that, for sure.
See, I personally, if Richardson is not on the board at 4, I'd be okay with taking Khalil, moving him to right tackle. First of all, that adds a lot of added stability for McCoy.
Yeah, I'm not taking.
Too high.
But
if we needed a left tackle, I'd agree. I'm not taking Khalil and putting him at right tackle with the 4th pick overall.
Too high.
No.
Too high.
I like
what weapon is that?
He can turn with him, Thomas, Mack. You're going to have Laval and whoever plays right guard. If you could sign back Steinbach, that'd be great. They can make anybody 1,000-yard. Look at Pittsburgh. The reason why Pittsburgh turns nobody's into 1,000-yard rushers is because of that offensive line, which is a little weak now. But in the past, Pittsburgh has very good offensive lines. They make anybody 1,000-yard rushers.
Who's more of an impact player, Khalil at right tackle or Morris Claiborne at a corner? Morris Claiborne.
But I think Cleveland.
More immediate impact.
But I think Cleveland could use Khalil. I really do.
I think Florida Blackman would be more of a.
I also think you improve Colt McCoy's performance by giving him time to throw the ball too, instead of always having. Sometimes last year he couldn't take 3 steps without having somebody in space.
I couldn't agree more with that, but I'm saying that would not be a good pick.
A lot of people disagree with
me. If we were picking him to play
but
left tackle, I would agree. If we were picking him to play right tackle and we had a left-handed quarterback, I might agree. But to pick a guy to play right tackle,
Tebow time.
Fine.
Let's trade for Tebow.
Look up in the annuals of the NFL how many great right tackles there are. Very few. They're great left tackles, unless your quarterback is left-handed. Then you're going to want a great right tackle.
Right.
The impact player, if Richardson's not there, will be Claiborne because it's a passing league. He'll have more plays thrown. If you want to throw it Claiborne's way, throw it Hayden's way. I don't care. Pick your poison.
Yeah, and they may score more points in your offense.
Now, real quick, let's get into let's get into this number 22nd pick.
Yeah, let's do that.
What do you take with the 22nd pick, Mr. Beckman?
I would. Well, it's all predicated on one would probably be Richardson.
Give me 2 or 3 guys.
Because
chances are one of them's gonna
Doug
be there.
Martin, Kendall Wright, because Michael Floyd's not going to be there at 22.
Not Stephen Hill.
Um,
Take Wright over Hill.
Stephen Hill worries me because he played in an offense that nobody threw him the ball.
Right.
And does he work out great in t-shirt and shorts? Yes. Does he run fast? Yes. That doesn't make you a great football player.
Let me give you some stats here. Doug Martin, 263 carries, 1,299 yards, 4.9 yards
Doug Martin's a
per
football
carry,
player.
16 touchdowns. Kendall Wright, 100 catches, 1,147 yards, which is 11.5 yards a catch, 9 touchdowns. Stephen Hill, 28 catches, 820 yards, which is 29 yards per catch average, 5 touchdowns. So right there's those guys. So you're saying Doug Martin, Kendall Wright, and who else?
Well, if we have, that's too high for somebody like Alshon Jeffrey. Probably he'd be more of a second rounder. Boy, you'd probably have to lean back towards.
It would not be too high for somebody like
Jonathan Martin.
Ruben Randall.
Now there, I might take a tackle like Jonathan Martin from
Jonathan
Stanford
Martin.
at 22.
Okay.
If certain guys are off the board. If you've got Richardson, then I'm going right if he's there. If I'm going Claiborne and
What about Cordy Glenn?
I'm not a big Cordy Glenn
Can
fan.
play guard, can play tackle, can play anywhere.
Yeah, well, I'm looking for a guy that can play one spot and do it pretty damn good. I'm not looking for a guy that can swing a couple different ways. At that point, now if
True.
you get to the 4th or 5th round, I can
Then
go swing guys.
Mr. 80, give me 3 guys at 22nd.
22nd.
Yes.
When Wright is there, I'll take him.
Okay.
If we haven't taken,
Wouldn't be looking
if
at
we haven't
Dante
taken-
Hightower,
Yeah, but
maybe?
take-
I wouldn't, but I would consider maybe either Mark Barron or Drake Kirkpatrick in the secondary.
I don't
That's
think
assuming
Drake
if you get
Kirkpatrick's
Richardson.
going to last that long. You might see Drake Kirkpatrick go to Cincy.
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Since he scares me, they have 2 number 1s, and their second number 1 is right before
Yep.
Cleveland.
Cleveland, and that's going to
Yep.
put a bite on Cleveland.
And I guarantee you, with one of those 2 picks, they'll take Floyd. I think if you want Floyd, you have to trade up.
I think you might have to get Floyd before maybe the Bears at 16.
Could be.
Yeah, Floyd's
be.
gonna go early.
But
He's gonna go early.
Cincinnati could be somebody that snatches Kendall Wright at 21
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
possible.
to go opposite A.J. Green.
But
Very
then you can be looking at
possible.
Ruben Randall. I'd take Ruben Randall, to be honest.
See,
I would be happy
I'd be
with
more
Richardson
interested in
and
Ruben
Randall.
Randall in the second round.
I don't think he's going to last that long. That's why I'm saying that. I think he's going to be a number 1 pick.
Well, there could be a run on wide receivers. If you're talking Wright, Stephen Hill, Alshon Jeffrey, maybe if he falls back. I mean, you don't know how these. It only takes one guy. It only takes one team to fall in love with you.
That's right.
So
I think my guy's at 22. Obviously, I'm taking Kendall Wright if he's there. I would Ruben Randall. I like Ruben Randall a lot. It all depends on who you take at 4. If you take Richardson at 4, I would be okay with, maybe Glenn or Martin, like you
Richardson
said.
at 4, I'm getting greedy and going Kendall Wright at 22 if he's on the board.
That would be a dream matchup.
Because
It would.
then you've really
Right.
worked that offense.
Or, honestly, if you take Richardson at 4, I might even be okay with Poe or Hightower. All right, well, that'll do it for this segment of Sports Rock.
Sprock.